You know, General, when I saw you stand in your uniform, I had to reflect. I just said goodbye to my son and his 10 children who were on their way back to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And he's a member of the Air Force or the Army, and he's a member of the 101st Airborne. What was astonishing was, some people would say what was astonishing was is how does he raise 10 kids? But what I find astonishing is how can he be 3 years from retirement? Because I'm his father and I don't feel that old. So, General, thank you for representing the military, which has certainly treated my son well and given him the inspiration to be a good man and a good father. So thank you. Distinguished guests, citizens of Moreno Valley, friends and family, I am honored by your presence here. Let me thank Mayor Pro Tem Victoria Baca for her kind words of introduction. It would not surprise me to one day be here to see Victoria take the oath as mayor, and that gives me great hope for this city's future. Reverend Jones, thank you for reminding us that it is God's will we carry out here today. Mayor Scott, I am grateful that you have joined us today. Few mayors are blessed to have a mayor such as yourself as an advisor and a friend. I am deeply grateful for your counsel, your wisdom, your unending love for the city and its people. To my fellow council members, all of you, thank you for your service to our city in these challenging times. You've led with courage and made the tough decisions that were critical for the betterment of our community. I'd like to thank City Manager Michelle Dawson and her staff. You serve the public with care and professionalism, and I thank you for your dedication to our city. I also want to recognize my wife, Susan. Susan, where are you? There you are, with my newest grandson, Connor. I want to recognize Susan and thank her for her great sense of humor, which has maintained us through the last year. And to the people of Moreno Valley, thank you for your faith and support over the past 12 months. As I stood here before you 1 year ago, I was a different kind of public official, different than what Moreno Valley voters had come to expect. I was someone who had never run for office. I was someone who had spent the last 35 years in private enterprise, creating jobs and learning how to run a large business efficiently. I was someone who decided to devote 4 years of his life, without asking his wife, to make this city government more efficient, more responsive, and fairer for everyone. And I was someone who had no political aspirations beyond that. I came into office determined to bring a new work ethic and a new vision to City Hall. I was filled with ideas and ideals, eager to get started, and yes, perhaps a bit innocent in foreseeing all the challenges that awaited us. However, over the past year, despite a few rough patches, we began confronting those challenges together as a community. At the onset, I said we would face tough times, and we have. I also said that our commitment to one another would carry us through, and it has. I stand before you a grateful mayor, one who is proud of what we've accomplished. Our progress is real. We are one city with one future, and our city's future is secure, sound, and strong. A year ago, I said to you, we need new jobs. But our work to create those jobs must be grounded in a balanced budget. I'm proud to report success to you on both fronts. We are now utilizing every asset at the city's disposal to create new jobs. Assets such as utility incentives, which have resulted in significant job creation in the last 12 months. Companies like Aldi Food, Amazon, Procter & Gamble, and Decker Outdoor were enticed to choose Moreno Valley over other nearby cities by utilizing these incentives. As a result, over 2,200 permanent jobs and thousands of temporary construction jobs are on the way. But the work isn't finished. To the 10,600 of our friends and neighbors who are out of work in Moreno Valley and need a job, the message is simple. Don't give up, because this city will never give up creating jobs until every Moreno Valley resident that wants a job has a job. You can applaud. I promise to take the city from millions in deficits to a real balanced budget without loopholes, unexpected expenses, and glorified revenue projections. The City Council rose to the challenge. We took prudent, rational steps now so that we won't face another financial crisis later. We made targeted, thoughtful challenges to the structure of the budget, while at the same time improving the efficiencies and effectiveness of our service delivery. And not only did we balance the budget for 1 year, but as the speaker said earlier, we did it for 2 years. And we cut the city employees' furlough in half, which restored many city services to the citizens and gave the city employees, for the first time in 4 years, a sense of job security. We did innovative things like entering into public-private partnerships to manage the Moreno Valley Public Library, which reestablished a 7-day service, tripled the current book budget, increased the number of after-school programs for our children, and saved taxpayers more than $1.3 million over the course of the contract. The third promise that I made last January when I stood here speaking to you was that I would make government work for all by providing common sense leadership at City Hall. The City Council delivered again with the selection of Michelle Dawson as city manager. Michelle is smart, visionary, well-liked, widely respected, both inside and outside of the City Hall, and she displays integrity and honesty. Michelle has invested much of her professional career serving Moreno Valley, but the most important attribute she possesses is she genuinely cares about this city. Thank you, Michelle. Today, I stand before you to affirm that we have the power to create the future for that Moreno Valley's families deserve. It's within our power to do that. Since we have demonstrated over the last 12 years that this council has the courage to use that power, our city's past narrative of economic mediocrity will not be the story of our future. This council believes that a new story of growth will emerge as a result of our collective choices. I stand here today, a wiser man, learning as much from my mistakes over the past years as from our successes. One thing I learned is nothing is more crucial in a city and city government than the dialogue that occurs among citizens, the private sector, civic organizations, faith-based communities, the media, and government. This past year, I have been privileged to participate in this type of dialogue during meetings with scores of Moreno Valley citizens, local employers, city employees, teachers, in churches, at senior centers, at job sites, at schools, and on the streets of every one of Moreno Valley's neighborhood. Sometimes the voices are raised in anger, and sometimes they're muted in grief. But always, always heard. It is the voices of the people who live in our community, attend our schools, volunteer in our churches, watch over our neighborhoods that have had the most profound effect on me. These are the people who guide me. These are the people who inspire me. People like Alicia Berridge at the Rising Star Business Academy, a charter school which graduates hundreds of students a year who traditional schools have failed. Rising Star Business Academy, under Alicia's guidance, encourages their young adults to identify, confront, and overcome the barriers in their lives. People like Kaylee Andaresia and Lizette Ratana and Devon Rayford, all students who have overcome their personal obstacles to achieve a 4.0 GPA last semester at Rising Stars Academy. People like Pastor Mark Orleano at Victory Outreach Church, which ministers to the poorest and most troubled of our city's areas. Victory Outreach inspires and instills within people the desire to fulfill their potential in life with a sense of dignity, belonging, and destiny. People like Benjamin Schuler in the Hole in the Wall down on Postal, who was once himself homeless. He now runs a nonprofit 12-step facility which provides a drug-free, clean, and safe meeting place, which aids those homeless afflicted with drug abuse. People like Shore Denny from Safe Routes to School, whose program has the goal of protecting our children on the way to school by bringing families, neighborhoods, school officials, and community leaders together. People like Pastor Darlene Palmer at the Lutheran Community Care Center, which provides transitional housing for homeless moms and their children. Pastor Palmer is helping to improve and transform our community in caring and constructive manners every single day of the week. People like Dr. Steve Overton from Cops and Clergy, a group that works to bring cops and clergy together for the benefit of our children, and they play a critical role in stopping crime before it starts. I've heard again and again from those whom I have spoken that we must do a better job of educating our children. They are our pride, our hope, and our future. I do care about our children and their future. They are why I'm going to keep fighting to fix our schools. Our schools should be beacons of hope. Our schools must send a clear and powerful message to children. We care about you, and we will not let you fail. As mayor, I have a moral obligation to all our children, wherever they attend school, and it's an obligation that I hold sacred. I will serve as an advocate for parents and grandparents of this city, joining with them in their commitment to educate their children because it is the right thing to do. So now I'm going to take a breath so you could applaud. The second theme that emerged from people I spoke with is that we must expand opportunity for all. For the past few years, cities and counties and states across the nation have been hit hard by our stagnant economy. That is why now, more than ever, we need to make sure that every resident has the tools they need to participate fully in our economy. It is not our destiny to be a city of haves and have-nots. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. envisioned the day when we would all realize that the American dream, a dream of equality of opportunity, of privilege and property widely distributed. To live Dr. King's dream here in Moreno Valley, we must provide clear pathways of opportunity in jobs and education. We must make sure our residents have the right skills and training to match the new jobs that we're bringing into the community. That means working with unions to provide effective vocational training. That means starting a job opportunity board that helps to train residents for available jobs within the city by means of a city, school district, community college, and private business collaborative. And finally, we must recognize that investment in our city, new construction of office, retail, distribution centers, and homes is not only essential, but good. The greatest cities in our nation don't demonize businesses. They send their mayors out to pursue it. The aspirations of the families who came to Moreno Valley in the 80s and the 90s were not simply to flee the horrors of a bad LA neighborhood or to find cheap housing. It was their aspiration and desire to move to a place of economic promise, a better life, and the hope of a better future for their children. To help families achieve their aspirations, we need even greater private capital investment and a city government that works in an efficient manner. We can no longer subscribe to the false choice between economic prosperity and livability. The truth is, one can't be achieved without the other. Economic viability helps create and support a livable city. And no city can be livable without a vibrant economy. Moreno Valley has engaged in this false choice for too long. When we engage in idle, self-destructive bickering instead of building a sound economic and educational future, we lose precious time and the promise of opportunity for our children. Thus, we must be less political and more pragmatic to run a city that works, where streets are safe, neighborhoods are clean, properties are maintained, and property taxes are stabilized. In a word, we must be efficient and competent. When future generations reflect back on Moreno Valley, will they understand us to be a city who set aside our petty differences to build a great city? Or did we allow the selfish personalities of a few to destroy what we have been asked to do? For those of you concerned about the World Logistics Center, let me assure you that this current council, this current city manager, and this mayor are agreed no developer, no matter who they are, will receive special treatment in this city. If and when Highland Fairview submits their project to the city, Highland Fairview will be treated no better or no worse than any other developer. This project will be scrutinized very carefully, and this council will work diligently to protect everyone's rights as they relate to the entitlement process. This is my commitment to you, and this is my commitment to the citizens of Moreno Valley. You can applaud. The 4 priorities for the next year are: 1, make Moreno Valley a city where everyone who wants a job can find a job. 2, educate our children. 3, expand opportunity for all. And 4, make this city a efficient city which delivers services in unique and efficient manners, in an efficient manner. Standing here tonight, I see before me the face of Moreno Valley. We are a magnificent tapestry made up of many people. It is our diversity that makes us strong and proud. Today, we have the chance to live up to Dr. King's great dream of inclusiveness and opportunity for all. And if you pledge your goodwill, faith, and hope to the powerful vision of a strong Moreno Valley that educates her precious young, bolsters valuable investment, and gets the job done, we will serve to deliver upon those commitments with tenacity, diligence, and the strength of community. Let today be a clarion call that things that brings together everyone to create a city that is one city with one future. Thank you all for coming. God bless you all, and God bless the great city of Moreno Valley.